Alrighty guys, good afternoon guys. How are you guys doing today guys? Great, amazing. So, here's your boy Luis guys back with another banger here. We're gonna be like making a little tutorial as to how to solve a Rubik's Cube in this tutorial. You probably, you obviously like you can't see my face in the video because, well the main reason why you can't see my face in the video is because like, I'm kind of like using my phone to record my videos. Like I said, I'm gonna be like, the quality of my videos might not look too great. So, you know, if there's like anything you think it's sloppy, I apologize for that. But like I said, eventually I'll try to get the quality of the videos better. Hopefully like try to get at least 50 boring videos. But I will still like you to watch them because obviously, learning new skills every day is always going to be important. Okay, so in this tutorial, I told you on the last tutorial, you guys have probably been wondering, hey, where were you, right? Maybe not that many of you, or maybe a lot, I don't know. But, these past couple of days, I've been having like a lot of things to do, like at school, been very busy with school and stuff like that. So, just kind of like, these past couple of days, I've kind of like been trying to figure out ways in order to be able to kind of get my schedule going. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. And so, but I told you on the last video that I was going to start making tutorials as to how to solve Rubik's Cubes. And so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to solve a Rubik's Cube from scratch. Now, I'm showing the Rubik's Cube scrambled because I thought it will be a good idea to kind of like, start from like the very bottom. I'm going to pretend that I'm in the same situation as you, and I know that each of you guys have a desire for trying to complete this cube. So I'm going to try to guide you through this whole tutorial, okay? So there are going to be around seven different steps in order to be able to complete the Rubik's Cube. So let's start with step number one. Step number one is going to basically be you, just kind of really trying to really kind of like solving or getting like solving your white star. So you kind of want, and yeah, there are no algorithms for this, by the way. So once I should probably start getting into the algorithms. So every single algorithm, or if you have some like expertise on kind of like what cubes are and really what some of the algorithms are in order to be able to solve it, but you still don't know how to solve it. And I mean, if you guys don't know, in case you don't know the moves for the algorithms, that's fine. I'm going to show them to you on this video. If you want to stop throughout the video to kind of take some notes, totally cool as well. But I'm just going to show you these things, guys, as I go. So the first move I want to talk about is R. R is basically the right layer of the cube, like this whole layer. And just know you can move this cube as much as you want. Got it? So the right layer of the cube is what we call R. And anytime I move it up, like up, or like rotate it up, anytime I move it up, I'm basically saying it's going to be R. Now for every single move, there is a counter. And the opposite direction is going to be counterclockwise, or AKA also known as prime, or however you want to call it. But regular R is going to be the right layer of the cube. So if you go up, it's going to be R. If you go down, it's going to be R prime. The opposite direction which the regular direction goes to is what we call R prime. I'm sorry, it's what we call prime, or counterclockwise. So if I say R up, I'm going to say R. If I say R down, it's going to be R prime, or R counterclockwise. The left side of the cube, opposite layers of the cube have opposite moves. Meaning if I went up for R, that means that going up for L will be saying L prime, right? So instead of just saying L when I go up with my left layer, I'm gonna say L prime. So that means when I come down, I'm gonna have to say L. So again, up, L prime, down, L, okay? The frontal face of the cube is what we call F. F is known as the frontal face of the cube, and anytime you rotate this face, this frontal face is what we call F, which basically just means front. And the frontal layer of this whole cube, like this whole face right over here, if I rotate it to the right, I'm going to call it F. If I rotate it to the left, I'm going to say F prime. Okay, so again, opposite moves mean opposite things, right? One of them has to be regular, which means the other one going in the opposite direction will be prime, or just regular, right? So if this is regular F, that means this is prime F. So F, F prime. Rotate to the right F, rotate to the right F, rotate to the left F prime. Got it? There is the back layer of the cube. This is what we call B, okay, which stands for back. So anytime I rotate, so again, opposite layers mean opposite or alternate moves, which means that if I went to the right for F and I just said F, that means if I go to the right for B, I'm gonna have to say B prime, which means if I rotate to the left, that's just gonna be B. So again, to the right, B prime, to the left, B. Okay. The top layer of the cube is this one, and this is the very bottom layer. So these layers, we call them, this layer we call it U, and this bottom layer we call it D. U, obviously it's gonna rotate from left to right, okay? But like not like this, but not like this really. More of like this, right? Horizontally, from left to right. So if I rotate U, right? If I rotate U to the right, it's gonna be U prime. If I rotate it to the left, it's gonna be U. So U to the right is just U. U to the left will be U prime, okay? U to the right, it's gonna be U. U to the left, U prime. Which means the opposite layer, D, instead of saying D when I go to the left, I'm gonna say D prime when I go to the left, right? And then I'm gonna say D when I go to the right. So to the left, D, that's gonna be D prime. To the right, D, it's gonna be just D, all right? So knowing all the moves, if you didn't catch them, you can always like go back to the video and really just kind of like annotate those moves. I'm gonna try to link those moves for the cube in the description down below, so you guys can kind of like tell how to annotate them and stuff like that. Or if you want to annotate them, it's totally cool. All right. Okay. So the first step solving the cube is going to be just getting the white star. So the first step of the cube actually wants you to do this. So this is exactly what you want to have. So when I get to this step, you want to have this thing. You're probably catching what I'm doing, so you're probably already done, but this is what you want. You want to focus on, and really just kind of make sure you're placing your white face and your yellow face opposites of each other. Technically, there is no right way of where you start to solve the cube. You don't have to do a white star as a starting, but you gotta know what every single color is doing. So if I'm placing these ones opposite to each other, these faces, these centerpieces, this one is this one's up and this one's down. That means that the bottom one is gonna be, or even the top one. Some people actually solve the cube backwards, but I'm going to show you how to really solve it from the bottom to the top. Some people solve it backwards from the top to the bottom, but it's just kind of the same thing. I just think that solving it from this, like, you may see other YouTubers do it that way, but I kind of prefer, like many other YouTubers, I kind of prefer just kind of work from the bottom to the very top. So you pay attention to the 4 layers you have right in front of you. In this case, we got green, orange, blue, and then red. I will say place the cube exactly like I'm doing right now, so you don't get confused throughout the video. So the step number 1 is to solve the white star along with the edge pieces matching with the center pieces. So these two match, these two match, these two match, and these two match. And again, they all make the white star. There is no algorithm. The more space you have to operate in the cube, the less you have to worry about algorithms. And what I mean by that is, like, from the very beginning, you don't have to worry about any algorithms because really nothing in the cube is solved. But as we start solving more things, we got to be careful as to how we use those algorithms, because those things, if we're not careful with how we use the algorithms, it may ruin the cube, okay? So if I solve, if I'm going to take, so what I'm going to do is, you can do this in so many different ways. But what I usually like to do is I kind of take a look at the yellow centerpiece. And what I do is I try to surround it with a bunch of wide edge pieces. So if you pay attention, so these the pieces surrounding the centerpiece are going to be the edge pieces, like these pieces right over here. All right. So, and then these ones are going to be called the corner pieces. Got it? So what you're going to do is you're going to take the cube, right, and you're going to surround that yellow centerpiece with a bunch of all of those wide edge pieces. So you're going to rotate around, and once you have it, this is what you got. Now you're gonna make sure that each of these edge pieces matches with their centerpiece. So this one match. Once you've done that, all you're gonna do is just bring that down to where the white center is, right? And you do that with the rest of the pieces. Move it around until you get it, and then keep moving around until you get it, and then yeah, there you go. So this is kind of what we want on the cube. So this is what kind of like what step 1 should look like, okay? Step 2 with solving the cube is going to basically just be, now you're going to have to worry about solving the corner pieces. So you want to make sure that the corner pieces, there are 3 things you have to have in the corner piece. So like these ones are the corner pieces, right? Some of them may be down below. And what I mean by that is the corner piece has to have white on it, because the goal of step number 2 is to solve the white face and complete the bottom layers of the cube, okay? So to do that, we have to have corner pieces that have white on them, of course, and the other 2 colors have to match to the 2 adjacent pieces. So if you put the cube from this standpoint, put it from like I want you to place a cube like this and see it from this own perspective, to where you can see these 2 different colors being adjacent to each other. You want to make sure that the colors on the corner piece are equal to these adjacent colors, and obviously the white is down here. So you're going to look around the cube, make sure that matches. So this one is the right one, because here I have green and I have orange, okay? So we're actually going to need an algorithm to solve the white corner piece. So to do that, you're going to do this algorithm. The algorithm is going to be R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And you're just going to keep going until you get the white piece, okay? I'm going to do it one more time. So I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to do R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And so you're going to do that until the piece. The main reason why I always do U prime again is just so I don't lose the piece. Because if I have it here and I do the algorithm, it'll just isolate the piece even more. So it'll never get to this spot. So you want to make sure it's always in this spot. All right, so this is going to now be, okay, we got green, red, green, red, and white, red, right, and then green on here. So that's good. You do it, we only got to do it once. If the white piece of that corner piece is here, then you really have to do the algorithm once. If it's on here, you have to do it twice. And if it's here, you have to do it 3 times. So just FYI. So we only need one more. This piece, orange, blue, and white. Okay, there you go. So this is exactly what you should have, okay, when you're solving the piece. So this should be the end of step 2. This is kind of what you should have. If you have any questions, you can always go back to the video. I'll even post the algorithms on the description down below, by the way. All right, so now we just gotta move on with step 3. All right, so step 3, when you're solving the cube, really is kind of just is to kind of now solve the metal layer. So you guys saw how we're basically, now we already built the ground here. Now we're worrying about the layers, which means that at the end we're getting into this point. Okay, yeah. So so this step is going to be a little bit more difficult, because we're not going to really, like I said, the more further you get down into the cube, the more you have to worry about the layer pieces. So in here I got the middle layer piece. I gotta pay attention to the pieces I got at the top. Now you gotta think of like something. Now you have to worry about the edge pieces, like the edge pieces. Some of the edge pieces that you might need might be at the top. If you get lucky enough to have them all at the top, or if you get unlucky enough to have some at the bottom of the cube here, for example. And what I mean by that is none of them can have yellow on them. They can have anything but yellow. Yellow, they cannot have it. So no yellow on the edge pieces. So an example of a perfect edge piece will be this one, because this one has orange and green. So it's got anything but yellow. So that's great. Now we got to make sure that the frontal part of this edge piece matches with the 2 bottom with these two bottom pieces here, the center piece and the bottom edge piece. The collar of this part has to match with these. And in this case, it does. So we got the perfect situation, by the way. So now, once you have this, basically the metal layer has to be all the same color. Now, that other part of this top edge piece, which is this one, the case for this one is that the two collars you have either on your right or on your left, either of those ones, they are always going to match. Always. There is always going to be at least one, so one of these sides, one of the colors for one of these faces is going to at some point match with this piece. So if I have orange on here, that means that my face to the right has to be orange, or my face to the left has to be orange. In this case, my face to the right is orange. And when that's the case, once you've found your matching color, what you are going to do is you're going to rotate that piece. You're going to rotate that piece to the point where this color is opposite of where it's supposed to go. So if you rotate, this is what you're supposed to have. But we're ruining this and we don't want to do that. So really pay attention to this algorithm. So if I rotate to the left, right, I want to rotate that to the left. So I want that to be opposite. You'll know why eventually. And so what you are going to do is, in this case, you are going to take the right side of the cube. Like, so this one is going to be the right side of the cube. So you're going to do the same algorithm as last time. You're going to say R, U, R prime, and then U prime. Once you have that, notice your white centerpiece is on here. Now, you want to make sure that you're rotating the cube to the point where that corner piece, that white part of the corner piece is facing towards that way, okay? Now, if you come up, pay attention. This is the edge piece that we have. And so all we have to do now is connect this corner piece with this edge piece. And the reason for that is because technically we are connecting parts of the metal layer and then the bottom layer. This corner piece belongs to the bottom layer, and this edge piece is the one we want to put for the metal layer. So it's always going to be like that every time. So really the key to solve, and you just kind of like connect them together and bring them down. So really the key to solve the cube on this one is to really just kind of connect this layer with the bottom layer. That's all it is. Rather than just building this whole layer blindly, right? Just connecting things together. Let's try another one. So this one is going to be blue, which means these two have to be blue. Found it. Now, the matching color for red this time is going to be red, right? So it's to the right, which means I'm going to have to rotate that to the left. And I will be doing the same thing. So R, U, R prime, and U prime. And you only have to do this algorithm once. So this is the same algorithm as step 2, but you only have to do it once in this step. The white corner piece will be facing towards you, so you rotate the cube towards facing towards like that side of the cube, right? And so now, again, the edge piece we wanted to put connected with this corner piece, okay? And then connect all your white pieces and then bring it down, and you'll have it. Okay, let's try another one, because I'm trying to look for kind of like a weird situation. So let me kind of like, you know, because some of you guys may wonder, what happens if the color that's on here is to the left rather than the right? So just give me like a few seconds to make a situation. An example of that will be like, what happens if your top part of your edge piece is like, what if the matching color or the face matching color of the top of the edge piece is on the left? Well, you will still have to rotate to the right, you will still have to do opposite. But here's where it gets weird. We technically can no longer do the RUR algorithm. There is a new algorithm that technically you're going to have to do. So since the very first time I introduced this video, technically the right layer and the left layer were very important because they're opposites. So you're going to need this algorithm. So it's basically the opposite of the algorithm we learned, like RUR. So this is going to be instead L prime, U prime, L. And there's going to be back U, right? And you will still do it. So again, I'm going to do it one more time. So to the left, rotate to the right, and get the left layer and do L prime, U prime, L, U. But like still, once you'll still always have that wide part of the corner piece facing towards you. So you want to rotate it to where it's facing towards, like, to the side. It's just facing to the side. In this case, now the corner piece is to the right. I will still be doing the same thing. Connect them together, and then bring that part of the corner piece up here and bring it down. And that's how you get the corner piece. Okay? I'm kind of like using my cubes in order to support my phone. So step number 4. Step number 4 is going to just be solve the white to like the white star. So you need an algorithm to solve it. Now you can have you may have one of 3 different situations. You may either start with the top face having the yellow centerpiece, or you may have like a half star, because the goal of this step is to now build a yellow star. But you may or may not just be having like about only half of that star done. Or you can have it to where you have like a straight line like this one. It really doesn't matter. You'll just have, depending on the situation, that's how many times that you are really going to be doing the algorithm. So let's just go ahead and start with this. I'm going to start from square 1. All the way from square 1. I'm going to have hold on. So, okay. So the way I'm going to do it is basically you got a yellow centerpiece. And so to solve, first of all, that means we're getting to the yellow. Now, no matter where you're at, if you have the whole wide yellow star for you solve you got lucky, but you may not always get lucky. So you're still going to have to know how to get that yellow star. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the frontal face, we're going to rotate it to the right. So we're going to say F prime, and do the same algorithm as step 2. So R, U, R prime, U prime. And then rotate that back in. So this is what you got. Now you're going to rotate it to where that half star is in this exact same position. So you can keep on doing it. So do it again. F, R, U, R prime, U prime. Okay. Now do it one more time. Do it until you get the whole yellow star. So rotate right. So F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then F prime. F prime to kind of like rotate the piece back. So there you go. Okay. So that's what step 5 should just be. Step 6 of solving the cube is to now basically, actually no, never mind. I actually mentioned the other step as step 5. No, that was step 4. This one is step 5. So step 5 is to now get all of your top edge pieces on place. So these ones are in place, but these 2 are not. And you may have different situations. You may have it to where the 2 adjacent edge pieces are in place, and so that means the other 2 are not. Or you can have it to where only the opposite ones are in place. But I'm trying to like solve the situation here. So like here, like this one is in place and the opposite one is in place, but the opposite ones are not. This is typically the least place at which you can start. I don't think most of the time you're not going to be anywhere below this, right? If you are, then just do the algorithm that I'm about to show you. But it's just the exact same thing as step 4. Not the exact same algorithm, but like it's the exact same case. You just have to know, kind of like pay attention to your placements, and then do the algorithm as many times as you need to until you get them all in place, or until you get everything in place, right? Which is what we did with the yellow star. But here we're doing with edge pieces. So if they're opposites of each other, you're going to place them opposites and do this algorithm. You're going to say R, U, R prime, U, R, U prime twice, and we're going to say R prime. Okay? Once you've done it, you now have the adjacent pieces. That's cool. You're going to pay attention to your left color, so left side solved, and you're going to rotate that to the right. Now you're looking at this color, and if you rotate, now you're going to rotate U, so you're going to say U prime, and you'll see that that piece will be in place, but you rotate around, you're like, oh no, what happened to the other ones? That's totally cool, because we're now getting into our final step. So all we're doing is this, same algorithm. R, I'm going to do it slowly. R, U, R prime, U, R, U prime twice, and then R prime. Okay? and then do it again. Do it one more time. R, U, R prime, U, R, U prime twice, and then R prime. And they should all now be in place. Okay? Okay, so now we're in step number 6. Step number 6 in solving the cube is very, 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 well, not that easy. I was going to say easy, but not that easy, because basically you're starting to see a situation where, okay, well, we are now going to have to solve the corner pieces. Well, that is a yes. But technically, unlike step number 1, where we didn't have to worry about where those corner pieces were, now you have to worry about the corner pieces and kind of like really get them in place. Okay, so for example, so now we're not just gonna have we're gonna have to get the corner pieces in place before we actually solve them. So we got to look around, and you may have situations where none of them are. So what I mean by in place, I'm talking about the piece being with its own matching colors. Like if this one is saying yellow, now we can worry about yellow corner pieces. And then yellow, green, and red, it means this has to be green and this has to be red. Okay, so I will have to kind of like have it here and stuff, but you're not going to rotate the cube around. You'll just be running the edge pieces. So we're going to have to use an algorithm to get these pieces in place. So if you don't have, you may look around and you may or may not have any corner pieces in place. I have one, but in case you don't have any, that's cool. You can just like do the algorithm from any standpoint. Once you've done that, now you'll get one of the corner pieces in place. So this one is in place, and you're gonna go into that single corner piece that's in place. You should not have more than one piece in place in this case. So if one of them is not in place, then the other two cannot be in place, because unlike a 4x4, which I'm going to explain later in another tutorial in the future, there are times where in the 4x4, since the 4x4 is more complex than the 3x3 per se, that you can have situations to where two corner pieces are in place, but the other two are not. But however, you can't have that on a 3x3 cube. Okay, so just FYI. So go into where that corner piece in place is, and you're gonna do the algorithm. Okay, we're doing it from the same position as like step number 2, or you can just like do it this way. So you're gonna take the right layer, okay, where that corner piece is, and now you're gonna say this. You're gonna do this. Okay, so let's do it. This is the algorithm. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you're gonna do U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. Okay. So you may still look around and none of them are in place. You may have to do it twice. It's totally cool. Let's do it again. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. Okay. And so once you've done it, they should now all be in place. But the most really times where, so if you have that situation, the most times where you're going to do this algorithm is really just twice. If you don't have any corner pieces in place, you may have to do it 3 or 4 times, I believe. I think it's 3 or 4, I don't know. But again, pay attention to your placements. Okay, so that's just step number 6. Okay, so we're now in the final step into solving the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. And so now the last step of the cube is to now solve all of the corner pieces. Okay, so now we all have them all in place, but we gotta now solve them. Now you may have different situations. You may have it to none of them are solved. Like I got a single one solved, but in case they're not solved, again you can start whatever you want. But if one of them is solved, you're gonna take a look at the one. You may also have situations, by the way, where the diagonal ones are solved, like this one's solved and this one's solved. Right? Or then this one solved and this one solved. Like, you know, like the corner pieces on the same layer may be solved, or diagonal ones may also be solved, right? But just keep in mind, however, that that you want to make sure that if you got a single corner piece done, you got to make sure it's at the top. So when you have the yellow facing towards like right in front of you, that solved corner piece is going to be at the very top, at the very bottom right, okay? Now, if this one were solved, then you will just place those ones on the very bottom layer, right? And, or if this piece were solved and this piece were solved, then you have to make sure that they're like in this diagonal, right? So when you're starting to solve your corner pieces, you cannot start with with this one, right? You want to always start with the piece right over on here, this corner piece, right? Depending on the situation, okay? So I'm going to show you everything step by step. So I'm going to place that piece down here, right? You're going to do this algorithm. So pay attention. Okay, so it's going to be U, R prime, U prime, R, U prime. No, sorry, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R. And once you've gotten that corner piece solved, you're going to rotate to the right. You're going to rotate to the right, okay? And then do it again. R, U, I'm sorry, my bad. U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R. And so let's just keep doing it until you get it, right? So the algorithm goes like this. It goes U, R prime, U prime, R, and that's what it is. And you do it again. U, R prime, U prime, R, right? So again, U, R prime, U prime, R. That's the algorithm, okay? And do it until you get it. And boom, the 3x3 cube is solved. And so that is basically what the high solving 3x3 Rubik's Cube. So if you guys have any questions regarding this tutorial, make sure that you leave a comment in the script. Leave a comment, and regarding any questions, like if you got any questions, you can ask me. Just like let me know in the comments down below, and then ring the bell and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And hope you guys liked the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.